Okay, so let's get started with the refund application process. So I'm going to give you a link for this page in the description box below, so you can just click on that and get started with your process. Like I mentioned, these are the eligibility criteria for student visa holders, and also those are the arrival dates and for working holiday visa holders, that's the date. So you can just click on this hyperlink which says student and WHM refunds form and go directly to the page. And also the timeline to make the claim is up to the 31st of December 2022, but if you do it earlier, the better. So you will be then redirected to this portal. I have already logged in, so it let me come into the page directly. But for your case, if you haven't logged in, please create an account and then you'll get this page. Submit a new request. So now you have to fill in your TRN number, which is the transaction reference number, and your application ID. Both of this information can be found on your visa grant notification letter. So now you enter the type of visa you're on. So I'm just taking an example of a student visa, and the entry date has to be between 19th of Jan till the 19th of March. So I'll randomly just choose a date from the month of Feb. And the next part, you will have to fill in all the given details, which is very simple and straightforward: name, family name, passport number, contact number, email address, and everything. So here we come to the important part, where it is about the payer's details. So here, if you're on a student visa, in most cases, your family member or your parent would have, paid on behalf of you. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say yes. I'm just going to use that scenario. And does the payer want the money to be returned in their bank account? So if you want it to go to their bank account, you got to say yes. But here for an example, because most students prefer to get the money in their Australian bank account, I'm going to say no. So here, does the payment want the refund to be paid to your bank account, which is your Australian bank account? I'm going to say yes. And now these are the criteria that is required for you, to proceed with your document. So one thing is the form 1424, which is the most important form that you need to fill in, just to authorize yourself to receive that transaction to your local bank account. There is no estimated time that's given for how long it will take to process your refund. So we just have to apply and just wait and hope for the best. So yeah, these are all just the details about where you need to send the form and all that. And yeah, so here's the main part. And like mentioned, in the form, it says that you only need to fill few parts, which is part A, B, C, D, E, G. And also part D needs to have the signatures. So let's go back to the form again. Yeah, so here's just the payer's details. So full name of the original payer. So if your parents have paid your fees, so you got to write their name, their address, date of birth, email address, and all these details. And then coming back to part B, which is the original application details, which is going to be the student. So you write your visa grant number, subclass, your full name, date of birth, and pretty much everything. And part C, if you do have the receipt details, please make a mention of those receipt details as well. Part D again is a mandatory field to fill in. So like mentioned in the portal, it says Part D is mandatory. So coming back to the form, I would say no. If the person is deceased who paid your fees, it's going to be no. And does the payer named at question 1 intend to claim the refund personally? So if I'm assuming that, you want the funds to come to your Australian bank account, so I'm just going to give no and come back to this section. 18th, you need to get signature of your parents. And 19th is where your parents or your guardian is giving the authorization to you to receive the funds. So here it's going to be all of your details. And then part E is just filling out your account details. So your name, banking institute, branch, address, BSB, and account number. And if it's an overseas account, you write the overseas details. And coming back to part F, which you do not need to fill in, you can just ignore that. Come to part G. So here's where you will write the reason for why you're applying for the refund. So if I was you, I would probably write that, applying for the refund process as part of the government incentive scheme for fully vaccinated students. You can write that you're fully vaccinated and also write the date of your arrival, and thus you you are eligible for the refund. So just there's a lot of space given, but I think you can just be to the point, write those details, and there's a checklist as well which you want to have a look and compare. And just at the end, there's a declaration which your parent or guardian needs to fill. And then you can just upload the forms here. So form 124. Apart from that, there needs to be a scanned copy of your Australian bank account which has your bank account details and everything pretty much, and your address, and then a signed copy of your identity document, which can be your license, which can be your passport, or any document that has your picture and your signature. So once all that is uploaded, you can just click submit.